Listen, it is not unusual at all. I'm sure you probably have experienced it yourself. You've got a speaking engagement. You've got to get up in front of the PTA or the civics club that you belong to, the service organization, and it's your turn to do a speech, and you get nervous. But you know what? There are people who say, nervous? You want to talk about nervous? How about if I simply panic and freeze and can't go on? It's a major problem with an awful lot of people, but not those who are taken care of by my next guest. She happens to be Kate Ellis, who is a clinical counseling hypnotherapist. Here's an impressive title: Vice President of the Arizona Society for Professional Hypnosis. We're talking about panic attacks and anxiety. How is that different from just being nervous before you go on?
Well, it's immobilizing basically when you have a panic attack or an anxiety attack, which are basically synonymous. So it literally will prohibit you from doing what you need to do. You have all these symptoms of a racing heart and sweating. Sometimes your extremities go numb, and you absolutely freeze, or you actually run away. You can't handle the situation. You feel as though you're enclosed and you like, get me out of here.
Well, how common is it?
About 117 million Americans suffer with one form or another of an anxiety or panic disorder, whether it's situational, like you were talking about, like you have to give a presentation to the PTA or to the board at your work, or say maybe you get in an elevator, all of a sudden you discover you're claustrophobic and you can't handle that, or generalized disorder where you suffer an anxiety or a panic attack at some point in your life. Everybody will suffer at least one panic attack in their life.
But why? Why does it happen?
Well, it's your fight or flight response. It's a deep instinct that allows you to survive. So you're either going to fight whatever's attempting to threaten your mortality, or you're going to flee from it. So it's a natural response that's 200,000 years in the making.
Automatically, people think in terms of, oh, he suffers or she suffers from panic attacks and anxiety, so they must be kind of wussy. They just simply are people who want to stay at home and not face the public. Willard Scott, of all people in the world, one of the easiest going weather guys in the world on NBC, on the Today Show, says there are times when he is frozen before he has to go on.
It does not matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your age is, your race. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. Anybody can suffer from it. This is a deep brain response, basically, when your mortality, or you feel threatened, basically. And there's this switch called your fight or flight response that gets switched on. And again, you immediately react by running or fighting. However, in today's society, that's really not something that we need to do.
We try to frown on that, yes.
But the thing is that it's really not like a mental disorder or a disorder such as, say, diabetes or heart disease or something like that that you have to maintain. It's correctable. I call it like a kink in the hose. You ever water a garden? And you're watering along, and all of a sudden the water stops flowing. You're wondering what's going on, and you realize, oh, the hose kinked, and you're flipping and flopping it, and finally you go back to the kink, you unkink it. It's really that simple. There's basically two mechanisms. There's the subconscious mechanism where somehow you've pushed that button of your fight or flight response, and for some reason you're still feeling threatened, like you have say an anxiety attack, and then you begin to feel nervous about maybe, say, meeting some relatives over at a party or something like that, and you begin to feel nervous. Those symptoms can come back again because you're feeling threatened, and you kind of get on this merry-go-round.
But is your specialty the most successful treatment, hypnotherapy?
It's actually a combination of hypnotherapy and cognitive behavioral techniques. Once you realize that it is merely a thought that is creating the anxiety or the reemergence of the anxiety panic attack, once you realize that you're in control of that, you can immediately shift it. So I correct it both at the subconscious level, where I kind of reset that fight or flight response back to neutral, And as well as cognitively, I use a couple of things such as this book, Did You Know?, which kind of teaches you the ideas about what your thoughts are and how you are in control of the thoughts you choose to focus on.
Where is the book available?
The book is available on my website, thehealingquest.com.
All right, okay.
And I also use this, it seems, excuse me, like a very simple format, but they're word search puzzles, and they're done in affirmative language.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
What do you mean?
Give me an example of words that empower.
Words that empower. Well, they're word search puzzles. See here, look. They're word search puzzles.
But it's not going to do them a whole lot of good if we just show me the page. So
True.
can you tell the audience about an example?
An example. Well, basically, what these puzzles do is they help you change your language, change your focus. There's a difference. Often we use two words synonymously, problem and challenge. And what I have in my office is I have people state out loud, I have a problem, and then notice how they feel, any tension in their body, how is their energy levels. And then I ask them to say out loud, I have a challenge. And again, going through the same process, how do you feel, what are your energy levels, any tension in your body. 99% of the time, a person who says, I have a problem, their energy drops, they feel a tension in the jaw or the stomach or the back, and they have this sense of powerlessness. But when they say, I have a challenge, their energies rally, and they
Is
have
it an example of self-talk that we're discussing?
well, it's an example of using the proper language, actually, because you're either empowering or disempowering yourself all the time by the language you use. Like the word try. I say work from not using the word try, because if you think about it, we're all doing the best we can at any given time. So say I'll do my best instead of I'll try, and instead of giving yourself a 50-50 chance when you say I try, I'll do my best. That again, you're always programming your subconscious mind. It's an obedient servant.
Here's some important words. Website.
My website is thehealingquest.com.
Say it again.
Thehealingquest.com, and I have all sorts of information for the layman to understand what I do, what hypnosis is, what it isn't. It's simply a shift of focus.
And her name is Kate Ellis, and there are no watches involved with hypnotherapy. This is Pat McMahon. We now have you under our spell. It's called the Morning Scramble.